I love talking about video games and playing video games and talking with you guys about video games and playing video games with all y'all. And honestly, it's addictive and it's fun and I couldn't be happier to be in the position that I'm at. And today I wanted to kind of sit down. I've got a couple of videos I'm working on. In fact, we're going to talk about it in this video, just the content schedule because of obviously everything going on. So just want to encourage everybody to stay home with me in this regards and let's play some video games together. So anyway, we'll dive into that. But I wanted to kind of be real and honest and a little bit vulnerable with y'all because I was tweeting out last night. Last night I had my first real anxiety attack since Mikey was born. So it's about 18 months since my last anxiety attack, and I've been going to therapy, and I've been doing that for a couple years now. And I don't really remember sharing that with you guys, but maybe I did in a vlog back in the day. And I started going to therapy when Eric passed away, and we talked about that here on the channel. A friend of both Chris and I's, and he just passed away a couple years ago, and I started having anxiety attacks. And for me, like, I didn't know what anxiety was, and it felt like I was dying. I guess is the way I could describe it. I went to the hospital, and they ran all their tests, and came back that I was fine, which didn't feel fine, and so I didn't know what it was, and thankfully, somebody recommended I go to therapy, and I found out that it's anxiety. What is anxiety? It sucks, and through that process, obviously, I've been really good and not had an attack, and it's a really good thing. But obviously, with everything going on in the world today, it's pretty obvious, that anxiety can occur, and so I want to sit down today and kind of talk about that because I just want to say thank you to everybody who reached back. I know many of you did. She Heals I Tank, Paul with Gather Together, and many of you guys. And I feel like I don't want to diminish y'all for everybody who reached out. I just, for whatever reason, those are the two names that are just really like prepping on my head. So thank you, both y'all and everybody else, because that conversation, that distraction, that piece of it really was great. Like just to sit down and say, hey, like this is how I'm feeling, and Julia's just amazing, very supportive, and she's like, just kind of sit down and like do something, to kind of focus your mind in a way. It's just it's a technique that my therapist kind of taught me, just focusing my breathing and doing something. I'm good at doing something. I'm really, really good at just doing something, and I struggle when I don't have anything to do. My mind wanders, and I'm a worrier. I'm just a natural worrier, and it's weird because to balance that with just my personality, like I always kind of sometimes jokingly talk about how sometimes my brain is at odds with itself, both my optimist side and my pragmatist side, always at war. And I try to always temper that with joy, and hopefully that comes across in the videos. But I want to kind of just sit down and be vulnerable and real with you guys today, because that's a part of me. That's a part of who I am. And, I wanted to sit down because, as as this chaos and as this situation and as this, everything that this is that forces people into homes and and it's so surreal, it kind of feels like it is humbling in a way. It is something that my mind hasn't fully processed this, both the loss, the grief, for those who are really suffering. And we've talked and know people who have gone into the hospital, not like directly, but it's, we've had these conversations with family. We've had some really interesting conversations, with our friends and things like that. And it's, it is something that is really, everybody, I think anybody watching this can probably in some degree relate. It's a very shared experience while we are separated, and isolated to a degree. And thankfully we have the internet. And we were talking with Avalon Star today, and it's like you take this 10 years back or you take this 20 years back, it's like how the world is different and how we have technology in a way that allows us to kind of, connect like this in this way. So I like I said, I wanted to sit down and kind of open up with that, be a little bit vulnerable, because I'm sure I'm not alone, and I'm sure that maybe if this video has any good attributes, that you can know that. And so one of the things I want to do, and this is kind of the other part of it that I was talking about at the beginning, is like hours are cut, not just for like me, but like a lot of people have lost jobs or staying at home and aren't able to work, and a lot of people are working overtime. And so when I look at what I can do here with YouTube and the like, is you'll probably be seeing a lot of content from me. But at the same time, I want to, I think it helps to talk sometimes. And so I want to try and make time, whether I'm live or not, but just to socialize in like in Discord, be it voice, just, if anybody out there is just anxious and things like that. I don't have any kind of set schedule right now. We're kind of looking at it, but I know that for the next couple of weeks, there's not really many things for me to do, and that hopefully will pick up, hopefully picks up for everybody. But in a way, this kind of feels like stepping into the world of full-time YouTube. And I know that's not the case, but I just want to, like I said, I'm good at doing something. I'm good at focusing on something, and working in this regards, working on a video or doing some like kind of live stream or something like that, kind of helps me, in a way. And maybe in some weird way, like I hope that it isn't just helping me, but that it allows us to connect and distract and focus in on playing a game. So I just like encourage, like, obviously anybody watching this, like feel free if you want to play a game, if you want to vent, if you want to just, I don't know, have a sense of normalcy, or you want to kind of distract yourself from all that this is and all that this, might be, or all this, hopefully will just blow over, and, we'll look back at it and be like, man, what a weird year, or what a weird month, in that regards. Yeah. So anxiety has been kind of coming and going, and I think it helps for me to talk about it. And I think many of y'all have reached out and said that, I can have one-on-one conversations, and I probably will end up doing that. I just have to kind of look at my schedule. One of the things that my therapist kind of talked about is that kind of set your schedule. Like if you're working from home, whether you're making content or you're streaming or you're just trying to figure out something to do, it's like kind of set a schedule, like hold yourself to, like, create, it's a new routine. It's a whole new world in a way right now. And so like I've always kind of lived and died by my calendar, and right now my calendar is kind of bare. So I was talking with my wife about this, and I'm like, I'm going to schedule times to work on videos. I'm going to schedule times to try and stream. I'm going to try to schedule times just to be social and hang out, and not make it a kind of about content, just to try to be a friend in that regards. And so that's what I'm going to try to do, and I'm going to try to do that starting tomorrow. And I think I'll probably keep the weekends to family and spending time with them. But, as I delve into this world, as I do these things, maybe it'll give me an opportunity to finally get to Monk. I know a lot of people are well, hey, can you get to Monk? I'm like, yeah, I'm working on Gunbreaker and things like that. But anyway, that's what it is. And I thank you guys for listening to me. This is actually very helpful. I was really weird, like kind of nervous about sitting down and having this conversation, because like I said, when I started, I love talking about games, and it's a good distraction. And I was kind of sitting here thinking like, I was kind of feeling like I should sit down and share my anxiety. It makes me feel a little bit better, which is good. And yeah, anxiety sucks. And if you're feeling it, know that you're not alone and you're not dying. It sucks. And if anything, I've said this, like, it helps me understand my dad more, who has social anxiety. And so I was like, I didn't understand it as a kid, but now I kind of like, oh wow, like this is a weird and not a very fun feeling to have in that regards. So anyway, guys, you stay safe out there, stay home as best you can. Yeah, we're going to get through this. I've seen some of the best of humanity over the last couple of weeks, and I know Julie was out. My wife was out helping out other people, kind of doing grocery pickups for like a bunch of people. So we're reducing overall amount of exposure and things like that. And not here to kind of toot her horn or anything like that. Just want to kind of share, where we're at and what we're doing. And I love you guys. And thanks for watching. And I hope you guys have a great day. And I will see you soon. Take care.